Hey everyone out there, today we're doing black pine seedling cutting transplants. So these are the black pine seedling cuttings. They've all been in here about 10 or 11 weeks now. They're all pushed out new growth. They're all doing really well, some a lot better than others. I think there were 76, 75 altogether, and we had only one failure. Only one. I couldn't believe it, like that's such a good rate of success. Oh, it didn't make a... So yeah, when we cut all these up and potted them up, I put a lid on here for about 2 or 3 weeks. During that time then, we did get some algae forming on the soil. I don't know why you can see it. It looks kind of like a black sludge. It kind of glistens, and it's nothing to worry about. A bit unsightly, but it isn't an issue really. A lot of people don't like to put a lid on them, but it does help the humidity, and I prefer it. And then at about week 4 or 5, I moved them from the shade then into full sun. Slowly though, not just like suddenly out there in the full sun. I smoothed them day by day until eventually they were getting full sun. So at first it was like an hour, then 2 hours, you know. And it went well. I'll show you the process of doing the seedling cuttings next year when I do some more. And you can use the same process on Scots pine, red pine, any kind of pines it works on. As some of you will know, this is only my second video, so any feedback, leave me in the comments whether I should be leaving longer videos, shorter videos. Because I mean 20 minutes, my first one was a bit long, but I probably didn't need all that, but I felt like I did at the time. Whether I need more energy or less energy or just be chill, I don't know. Any comments, feedback will help a lot. Because over here we've got the mycorrhiza, seaweed water, just to let the cuttings sit in before they go in the soil. And then we got the soil itself. It's like 80% inorganic. It's perlite, which is a good replacement for pumice, and it's cheaper. Molar clay. I think in this case I got cat litter, but it's like a non-clumping cat litter and not odorized. And then the organics is just compost and peat moss. Well, some of these really did thrive more than others. I wonder if I take you down to like, yeah, so you can see that some are much higher than others. The purpose of this is to get a nice radial nabari, but also to try and give you more options with the pines as they grow, because pines will normally push out branches higher up. They won't put them out near the base, but when you do this you get branches nice and low, so that you can create more of a shohin style. You don't have to go for a taller tree, you can go for a shorter one because you've got lower branches and more options to work with. Right, and let's get on with it. Remember when you're doing this to make sure that the temperatures have dropped enough that they're not going above 20 each day. Not really sure what to expect, whether I should be expecting little nubby roots or whether I should be expecting big roots. Kind of feels like I've caught something big. So let me try and tease out the roots a little bit so we can see what we're working with. And you can see that we've got roots coming from the same location, yeah? So you've got one here, got another one from the same point here, and then it looks like there's a third one, yeah, here. So that's going to be a pretty nice nabari structure. We don't want to prune any of these. Okay, we don't want to cut them back at all. Okay, so that's just going to sit in there different tools, depends what you prefer. This was just a bamboo skewer that was in a random tree I bought, I forget which one, but it's worked well for me, I quite like it. This one's good as well because you've got two, you're not putting so much pressure on certain parts of the soil, so you're not likely to rip anything. Sometimes I feel like this one's better, depending on how deep the roots are. You can kind of feel them as you're pulling it up. That's another massive rootstock on that that's grown, isn't it? So as well as having 3, 4 chunky ones, it's got loads of little roots as well on it. Yeah, you've got those 4, and then lots of little roots. Lots of low down branches that will be forming. Can you see that well? Right, let me do one more with you, and then I'll pause you, take out a couple, and then show you. Just because I need to be gentle, take my time, I don't want to break anything. But at the same time, when I'm recording, obviously you've got the pressure to make sure that you're not just watching nothing happening. God, that's a monster, that one. How long that one went? This one only went into 2, unfortunately, which is like not as good obviously as the first 2. I'm going to enjoy a bit of coffee for a minute and take some more out, and I'll get back to you. So I'll just play you again. I only did 2 more and they were successes, but I just wanted to show you this one. This one's an example of what I typically would have expected, like these little nubs. So as I go, I just take out the soil, just makes it easier to dig the next ones out because you haven't got a massive soil spread that's all compacted. So you can see they're in rows of 4, so there would have been 2 more rows, 8, and there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I don't have anything to prove, but I don't want you guys and girls thinking that, oh, he's not showing us, we're not seeing what's happening. So the light isn't great here, but I just wanted to show you that the process I used was the same for this and for the Zelkova cuttings to do the seedling cutting. The difference was with these horticultural sand, it's a bit more quartzy and a bit more silicate based, and you can see where I've made the hole and filled it with the sand for the cutting. I just thought it looked cool, I thought I'd stop and show you that. So far, from everything that did survive, which was 75 out of 76, everything's been rooted and everything's been good. But I'm expecting 100% of everything that did survive to have roots on, because otherwise it would have wilted and died off and probably rotted like that one that we saw earlier did. So yeah, I'm not expecting any of these to have failed now. It would have been easier if I'd done these maybe a week or 2 sooner, because they've been in here so long, it means that the roots have gone really deep, so a little bit more troublesome to get up. And I could have left them in here till after winter, to be honest, but I'd rather that they were all in their own pots. And had their own space to grow, because with so many in such a small space they're going to get crowded really quickly. they're already starting to. As I pull some out, I have to loosen others to get them out. And all of this soil is still good to use, so this can be used again. So this one's sticking, and I can feel it, and it kind of feels like it's sticking under here, which means I'm going to have to loosen these ones to get this one out. So this is what I mean about starting to become restricted on movement in here and space. Once I finish them, they'll all sit in the seaweed solution for a little bit. It helps prevent transplant shock and gives them some nutrients, and it helps with the root growth and root formation. So this is good for them. Yeah, they'll sit in there for 20 minutes before I pot them up again. When I do pot them up, then I won't tamp the soil down, like press it down with my hands, because I don't want to damage any of the delicate roots. What I'll do instead is I'll dip the whole thing in a pot of water, so that as I take it out, then all the soil will be pulled down and around the roots, and everything will tighten up. But it won't be done in a way where anything will get damaged. So this is the last three. I feel like we're about to lose the light soon. And everything's been really good so far. And then this is our bowl, which is now chock-a-block. These are just carry trays, just to make my life a bit easier when I move them around. So we literally just put like a little bit in the bottom, and then we'll put the cutting inside, and just drizzle, pour the rest of the soil all over it. I like to kind of do it like a factory production and just get a bunch of things ready at once, and then do a bunch of cuttings at once, and then do a bunch more pots, and then a bunch more cuttings. And I've got to remember to add the mycorrhiza. What does it mean in words? Mycorrhiza? Mycorrhizal? I don't know. What was it last time? Cotyledon. Cotyledon? Cotyledon. I'm sure it's Lee. Anyway, Christ. A 70 pots. I'm not doing 70 of these. So here's some I made earlier. There's 30 of them. Next step. So we're going to take our seedlings one by one. Take a pot. A little sprinkle in there. And this time you obviously don't want it buried to the needles. You want to make sure that the trunk's out this time. I'm just going to drop it in the seaweed solution just until you start to see the water appear on the surface. And there's 1 out of 72 done. And that can now just go in the tray. This is one of the stronger ones. So it's 6 days later, and all the seedlings were transplanted. They've had 5 days in the shade, solid shade, and then been moved to the sun then, although it hasn't really been sunny at all, to be honest. We got 3 trays of 20, and then another tray of 15 here. These ones are actually later to sprout in the season, to germinate and push up. They probably were in the shade a bit more as well earlier in the season. So these were ones that were a month ahead, I think. Maybe 3 weeks or something like that. And then these ones couldn't be cut because the weather was too hot then at the same time, so I couldn't do anything about them. So there's 2 trays, I think, of these ones. And you can tell the size difference. Some of them are obviously doing much better. And then there are 6 that weren't cut at all, and they were just put in little pots. So yeah, we'll see how we get on, and we'll update you. I'll update you later in the season. Don't forget to leave a like or subscribe, and leave those recommendations on what you think I should do with the commentary.